Hey everyone, my name is Arthur Kade, and I'm the host of Behind the Velvet Rope. Based here in New York City, each week we'll take you on the hottest red carpets to give viewers an unprecedented look at some of the biggest names in entertainment. We'll also bring you up close and personal with extended conversations featuring some of the world's biggest stars. We cover everything from movies, television, music, sports, and fashion. So whether it's Comic-Con, the Victoria's Secret Fashion Show, or the Tribeca Film Festival, we'll give you the ultimate all-access entertainment pass. On this episode, we're taking you to the Toronto International Film Festival, so get ready to go behind the velvet rope. Black and White is a powerful story about two grandparents fighting for custody of their biracial granddaughter. Played by Oscar winners Octavia Spencer and Kevin Costner, we see how race can divide a family. See what the stars had to say at the premiere. Kevin, making this movie, so many social messages, working with Mike Binder, it's got to be such a joy. And debuting in Toronto, talk to me about this experience.
Yeah, well, thank God for the Toronto Film Festival, because movies like this movie, they actually need help, you know, and movies have always been propelled by audiences, and this town is just a cinematic town, and they come, you know, the movie has to be good first. I think it is, but the people will decide. But I was really proud to bring it here.
You and Kevin Costner, it's a battle of race, family, and so many incredible messages. Talk to me about making this.
Well, it's definitely a project that I'm so honored to be a part of because A, I am a huge Kevin Costner fan. B, I think Mike Binder is one of the most amazing writers. Whenever you can skillfully weave pathos and humor in a way that's really representative of life, and you walk away from it wanting to be a better person, then that's it's pretty amazing. So the fact that I got to be a part of it is great, and the fact that we're here, it's great.
Talk to me about making this, because it touches on so many very important topics in America today.
Yeah.
So making this as an actor and putting a message out there to touch on this has got to be so rewarding for you.
It is. You know, when I first read this movie, I was really blown away by not only what the story exists to say, but what Mike was trying to do. I feel like we were very fortunate as actors to have him as a director, because he knew the world he wanted to create. He kind of allowed us to put our 2 cents in and envelop that into his story. And you don't usually get that, you know. He really gave us the freedom to go at it 100% and really, you know, give our idea of who these characters were. So, you know, Kevin and Octavia really took this little girl, this first-time actress, and really just gave her the opportunity to be a rock star. And you don't really see that too often. So, you know, all of us were very fortunate to be in a position that we were in.
Talk to me about being here and working with this brilliant cast, Mike Binder. Awesome stuff, man.
Yeah, well, it's nice to be here in a warm month. I did a stand-up tour here in March, and me and my buddy Verzi went to a Maple Leaf game on a night off, and it was so cold we were actually laughing afterwards. So it's nice to be here where it's sunny. But as far as being here at the film festival, I mean, this is you know, one of the biggest ones, I guess. Yep. I'm new to the movie thing. She told me that on the way up. I was chilling coming up here.
She's like, this
is like one of the biggest ones. So now I'm like all nervous. But yeah, I'm just psyched to be here. You know, I don't get to do a lot of. It's taken me a while to get some acting work in my career, and to be able to do drama, and to get to work with Mike Binder. You know, directing, and Kevin Costner, Octavia, Anthony Mackie's hilarious. We had a great time, and of course Jillian is adorable, and it was awesome.
This movie touches on so many important topics. It's great to make movies, but when you can have a message with them as an actor, it's got to be great.
But what I like is I don't think that it's like this heavy-handed message. It's just these two families that are fighting over this kid that they love, and both sides think they know what's best. And then the race thing is inserted you know, because of all, you know, the crap that's happened throughout history. But in general, that's basically what it's about, you know.
When you get to work with a cast like this, Academy Award winners, people who are so brilliant at their profession, as a director, does it make your job that much easier?
Yes, yes, and especially with a guy like Kevin, who he only takes movies that he just absolutely has to do. So when I work with him, there's no waiting for him. There's no feeling like he wants to get it done so he can get to get off and make a Dove Bar commercial in Italy and make $3 million. He's there completely engrossed in working with me on making the movie, and it's great. And same with Octavia. She's a pro, you know. She really wanted to be in this movie.
Debuting it at Toronto, one of the best film festivals in the world.
Yeah,
it's got to be such a special experience.
It's great. I mean, I think I'm peaking right as we speak.
Congratulations, Mike. While We're Young, directed by Noah Baumbach, had its world premiere at this festival. Ben Stiller plays an artist who hasn't achieved the success that he feels he's due. He, along with his wife, played by Naomi Watts, see their passion rekindled after meeting a younger couple, played by Amanda Seyfried and Adam Driver. Ben Stiller, I just saw you in New York for Ultimate. You're here for another movie at Toronto. Does it get any better than this?
No, it's very exciting. It's the first time anybody's seeing our movie, so it's really exciting to put it up there in front of everyone. And Noah's an amazing filmmaker, so I'm excited to be a part of this.
When I'm not in New York interviewing him for his hit reality show, I'm in Toronto. He's now a movie star. Congratulations, Ryan Serhant.
Thank you.
You got to work with such a brilliant cast, man. Great director. Talk to me about making this movie. It's got to be just an incredible experience.
Greatest time of my life is the easiest way to describe it. And it was a shot in New York last October. And so I would show apartments and then go film for $1 Million Listing, and then I would go to set for this, and it's like the craziest days. It was great.
When you look at, there aren't many reality stars that are able to cross over and go work with mainstream A-list actors. Has this been a dream of yours for a long time where you're like, you know what, I want to sell $1 million properties, but I'd like to be in movies as well?
I always wanted to be in movies. I always wanted to act and perform and do theater, and that was always my dream. I got into real estate by happenstance. A friend just told me to do it so I could pay my bills and be able to live in New York. And so I was like, all right, I guess I'll do real estate. Ugh, I don't want to do that. And then I kind of fell in love with it, and then the show happened, and now this happened.
It's awesome. Stay tuned for more from the Toronto International Film Festival. Everyone knows that in Hollywood, you're only as good as your last hit. Top 5, written, directed by, and starring Chris Rock, is a story about a comedian who is forced to re-examine his career and his life after a negative review by a journalist. Headlined by a brilliant ensemble cast, we spoke with the stars at the premiere. You get such a brilliant cast. JB Smoove there. Talk to me about putting this project together. It's hilarious. The enjoyment, the experience.
I wrote it, called up some friends, see if they could do it. Almost everybody said yes. Everybody that's here said yes. Some people didn't have, you know, some people had, Will Smith had things to do. But I got pretty much everybody I wanted, and it feels like we did something historic.
Talk to me about making this super hilarious movie and working with some of the most brilliant minds in comedy.
I mean, it was unbelievable on set every day. I remember we were doing this scene and, you know, there's all these comedians on stage and they were just rotating, just different friends of Chris's that were coming up, and all the extras were told to actually laugh, which never happens because you're always told to mime so you can, you know, kind of make sure you can get the dialogue without any sound over it. But instead, all these extras were like, this is great, I just came into the city, it's my first time doing extra work, I'm going to do this all the time. And I'm like, no, 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 no. This is very special. You don't normally get Chris Rock on stage doing like comedy for you and then paying you to be there and laugh. Like that, this never happens. So enjoy it, take it as it is. I'm enjoying it. I've been doing this 20 years. This doesn't happen to me every day. I'm loving this. This is the best job ever.
Talk to me about being here. Toronto, does it get any better?
Yeah, it doesn't. Toronto doesn't get any better, and it's so explosive and and Leslie Jones is right there. Look at her.
Co-star over
My
there.
co-star that can dunk on me. She can dunk on me. She put a, you know, on my forehead. Right there, right on my forehead, right there. Oh, she's amazing. Funny as all know. I love being here. Toronto's energy is so explosive. That's why I love being here. It's amazing.
You're a movie star now, doing movies with Chris Rock. Talk to me about making this. This has got to be so awesome.
It is great. I don't know about star. These guys are stars. I'm just happy to be along for the ride, man. This is crazy.
Talk to me about working with this incredible cast, having a mastermind like Chris who put this project together. He's one of the best in the business. For a comic like you, for someone who's building such a great career for himself, what's it been like?
Oh man, it's fantasy camp. It's watching the best at work. You know, it's what, you know, anybody must feel like playing with Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? So half the time you're watching, and half the time you're trying to remember your lines. So it's really cool. I can't wait to see it, how it all came out.
You're part of one of the biggest franchises on television, obviously The Daily Show with Jon Stewart. Talk to me about what that experience, because again, talking about brilliant comedic minds, it doesn't get any better than Jon. What's that experience been like for you?
It's been insane. The better experience is just the feedback from the fans, just feedback of the fans of the show, because I'm a part of a machine. You know, these guys are professionals, from the writing staff to the, you know, to Jon. So it's really just cool to be a part of it. And people say things like, the show's important, like that piece was important, which makes you feel really good, you know, because it's not just jokes, it's also trying to inform people.
Manglehorn is being featured at the Toronto International Film Festival, and we see a return to form by the brilliant Al Pacino. He plays an eccentric locksmith who searches for redemption and his long-lost love. We spoke with Al Pacino, Holly Hunter, and Harmony Korine at the premiere. It doesn't get any better in this business than standing with one of the greatest to ever do this business, the one and only Al Pacino.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Two movies at the Toronto Film Festival.
That's right.
Someone who's had such an iconic career, this is one of the best places to debut movies. Talk to me about being able to do it here.
Well, I love movies here in festivals, and Toronto Festival is one of the great ones, because one reason, it's very simple, is that you see a movie on a big screen. Because lately, you know, you see like my kids watch movies on these little iPhones.
I love that. I have Al Pacino with his iPhone next to me.
Yeah, well, there's just so much you could see of a movie in that context. But to go to a festival, you get to see your picture with other people, which is a communal thing, and that's the way movies used to be. But so I'm happy to be here, part of that.
This movie, Manglehorn, it's about love lost, a man trying to recover love lost.
That's right.
Talk to me about this character and building it.
Recovering, but also holding on to the past. And in this sort of strange, obsessional love with this woman who won't return his letters, won't give him any, and he finds that a kind of a way to live, and sort of it's an outlet for him. It's a sort of therapy.
Working on this movie, Manglehorn, with someone like Al, great director like David Gordon Green, talk to me about this experience.
Well, it was just a pleasure, you know, to work with both of them. It was just a really comfortable environment because David works with the same crew. I think this is their 10th movie together, him and his crew. So the set is a really relaxed environment to begin with. And David is a really pliant, easy guy. So the atmosphere just felt really positive, and that's important to me. And then there's Al, and Al also he's got a great ability to break the ice because he loves to rehearse. He loves to just read the script, you know. So we would sit around and read the script before we ever started shooting. That was lovely.
Toronto, it doesn't get any better than being here. Talk to me about the experience so far.
Well, you know, Toronto is festival unlike any other festival in that it's for the community, you know, it's for the people of Toronto, and I just so admire that.
I don't usually act in movies, so in this one they asked me to, you know, to do these scenes with Al, and I was excited. I thought if I was going to do it, there'd be no one better than, you know, working with him. He's an icon, and he's amazing.
As someone who's behind the camera, when you have to get in front of it, and you have to work with an icon, you nervous? What's it like?
I wasn't really nervous. I was like, my character's pretty messed up. You know, he owns like all these like kind of like whorehouses and strip malls, and he's like kind of like lost his mind a little bit. So I just kind of pretty much was just like going with that. And with Al, he just made it real comfortable, and we just kind of did it.
And coming up after the break, more from the Toronto International Film Festival. Boy Choir is one of the movies featured at this year's Toronto International Film Festival. It's a coming-of-age story about an 11-year-old boy trying to find his voice at a prestigious music school. Featuring Dustin Hoffman, Kathy Bates, Josh Lucas, Eddie Izzard, Kevin McHale, and more. We caught up with much of the cast at AMC and the Creative Coalition's annual gala. This great movie, Boy Choir. You have your new show with Deborah Messing coming out, and you're being honored by this great organization, the Creative Coalition. Fun September, right?
Yeah, no, it's great. And actually, I got to go to the inauguration with the Creative Coalition of Obama, 6 years ago now, which was also an amazing highlight of my life. So I'm proud to be back and saying hello to these guys. But yeah, tonight was very special here at the film festival. Sitting in that massive theater and putting a film out and seeing the audience's reaction, nothing quite like it.
Garrett Waring playing Stet, this young kid. He's got this amazing voice, and he comes from the wrong side of the tracks. And the whole story is about whether he achieves his ability to pull this out of him and actually have a life, or whether he's just going to sort of die and explode because his mother has been a real car wreck of her. She actually dies in a car crash, and she's not in a great place. So his whole life looks like it's going to go nowhere, and this whole story is about whether he touches the stars with his voice. It's a beautiful little story. I hate the character. I hate his character. So I'm championing another character in the Boy Choir. Then he comes along and does better. So yeah, I hope it does well.
Talking to me about being here to support the Creative Coalition, but also Boy Choir, which is awesome.
Yes,
by the way.
which fits in perfectly. Yeah, it's amazing. I've done work with the Creative Coalition before, and we've been on this whole thing in DC about getting arts funded in education, and obviously everything I do seems to be involved with the arts in terms of, and especially Glee, and this is the same thing where it just fits in nicely, so I'm happy to be here supporting both.
You're one of the chair people here for the great organization.
It's exciting, isn't
awesome,
it? I mean,
right?
Creative Coalition does incredible work advocating for the arts. They protect the First Amendment, which is insanely important, obviously. And I have 3 movies in the festival, so that doesn't suck, right?
How incredible is this year for you? Orange is the New Black becoming, I've interviewed you I think 3 times about it, and each time I interview you, it's a bigger carpet, more fanfare.
It's fancy.
3 movies at TIFF.
I got
How incredible.
fancy.
She did get
I got
fancy.
and I'm on How to Get Away with Murder. I get to work with Viola Davis,
and Shonda.
the best, and Shonda. Oh, thank you.
You're the president of the Creative Coalition, which I think is such an incredible organization. You guys are such incredible advocates. Talk to me about the work that the Creative Coalition is doing.
Well, primarily we're advocates for the arts and for public arts education. And we believe and have a lot of evidence that if children have exposure to the arts and they have a chance to participate, that essentially they're better human beings. Their lives are improved in every imaginable way. So we work hard to sort of change the narrative, because too often we find that people, at least in the United States, talk about the arts as if it's sort of a luxury item, something that's expendable, that it's kind of like dessert. We believe it's the main course. So we struggle very hard to get people to talk about it with the respect we think it deserves.
What's incredible is to see the incredible Hollywood power that you've gotten behind this coalition. Talk to me about getting people like Catherine Keener and David Schwimmer. Tonight, Dustin Hoffman is going to be your honor with his new movie, Boy Choir, to support the organization.
Well, I think that, the people who are artists get it, right? They know what arts have meant to their lives, and I think they also understand that what we're doing is not promoting or advocating only for artists, that we want everybody to get a chance to participate and to be touched by the arts, because the arts are the language of our humanity. They're the emissaries of our culture. They're the custodians of everything that makes us who we are. And so it's really important I think it's important to people like Dustin Hoffman and David Schwimmer and high-level people to participate in supporting that idea.
You have two incredible projects. One which is going to be debuting here at Toronto, The Equalizer. I cannot wait to see it.
Yeah. Talk
to me about A, being here to support the Creative Coalition, such an incredible organization, but also B, working with Denzel.
Man, first off, it's an honor to be here, to be a part of this event tonight. I'm definitely honored and humbled to be here as well. And working with Denzel, man, where do I begin? It's Denzel. The fact that you could just say is one, he has the name, you could say the first name, and everybody knows who I'm talking about. Man, it was such an honor and, again, a humbling experience as a young actor, as myself, early on in my career, to work with such an icon, a legend, and someone that's paved the way for numerous actors to come behind him. Man, it was an exciting and humbling experience.
That's a wrap for this episode. Thanks for watching, and be sure to tune in to see who'll be joining us next behind the Velvet Rope.